Look, Rebecca, I really don't care what it says on the schedule. I am not certain today is the best day to shoot an outdoor Ask the Meadmaker. Welcome to Ask the Meadmaker, where I, Ricky the Meadmaker, answer your questions about mead, mead making, mead drinking, mead brewing, and really any question you're willing to send to me. The first question this week comes from Luke, and I'm going to have to read it in its entirety. Dear Ricky, there are 196 countries in the world, depending on how you count. CGP Grey has a great deal to say on this subject. Of those, the US, Myanmar, and Liberia are the only three who still use standard units. Myanmar and Liberia have transition plans in place to be on the metric system by 2020. Do you think that bottling mead by the milliliter instead of the ounce might be enough to convince the US to follow suit? The short answer is no. The long answer is no. In fact, 2 of my products have to be bottled and marked with fluid ounces, and 1 in the same size bottle has to be marked in milliliters. So no, I don't think anything I or any other mead maker does will change the way the federal government feels about the metric system. Our next question comes from Larry, who says, a few episodes back, you got a sample out of a very large tank. How many bottles of mead do you get out of a tank that big? Well, Larry, it depends on which of our products we're brewing, but we just did a batch at Fenberry Draft, and we got this many bottles out of it. That is, by my count, a lot. Our next question comes from Adam, who works right next door, and he says, I've heard a lot of weird noises like table saws and sanders and stuff. What are you guys building over there? Well, it's kind of a secret, but I'll give you a taste, and we'll show you more in a coming episode. Our final question comes from Mark, who asks, Ricky, you make mead making look so easy. Why doesn't everybody make mead at home? Well, Mark, I think everyone should make mead at home. You may have seen in the descriptions for these videos that we often have articles, and our blog has tons of articles for home brewers. I think everyone should try their hand at home mead making, and if they like, buy mine also. That's our last question of the week, so now I have to send it over to Ricky with our word of the week. Ricky? Thank you, Ricky. This week's word is attenuation. Attenuation is a yeast term and refers to how much of the sugar a yeast will eat. If it has very high attenuation, it will eat all the sugar and turn it into alcohol. If it has very low attenuation, it'll leave a lot of sugar and sweetness behind. To get a dry product, like ours, we use a high attenuating yeast. Attenuation is our word of the week and the end of our show. Please keep sending your questions and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Cheers.